Welcome to the deep dive. You know, today we're going to crack open Homer's The Iliad and the Odyssey.
Oh,
But with a twist,
Yeah.
we're adding a little something extra.
right.
It's like, imagine like Socrates and Joe Rogan and
Wow.
Kanye West and Nietzsche all just like huddled around.
What a group.
Yeah, dissecting these epic tales.
It's a dream team of commentators right there.
I know. So we're going to explore these like timeless questions,
Mm.
heroism and fate and human flaws
Yeah,
through the lens of these legendary figures.
I love it.
Buckle up, because this deep dive
Oh, yeah?
is going to be anything but predictable.
It's so fascinating to think about, like, how those perspectives would clash,
Oh, yeah,
as we unpack these complex characters and events from Homer.
totally. All right, so
Let's get into it.
let's dive in. First up, Achilles.
Okay.
This guy, poster boy for battlefield ferocity.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy killed 9 men 3 times in a row.
Oh, my God.
Come on. He was practically a demigod, right?
Yeah. Well, his lineage is definitely rooted in the divine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where he gets that superhuman strength and skill from.
Yeah.
But you're right about the ferocity. It's
Yeah.
not just strength, though. There's this underlying rage.
Yeah.
Especially after Patroclus dies.
Oh, yeah.
It drives him to do some pretty brutal things,
Oh, for sure.
desecrating Hector's body.
Yeah, that always struck me as such a turning point in the Iliad. You see his grief, but then it makes you question, like, is
Yeah.
this heroism or
Yeah.
is there something else going on? It makes me think about how Socrates would question, like, what even is a hero?
Oh, totally.
Are these, black and white definitions?
Exactly. Socrates would love to dig into all the nuances of Achilles' character.
Yeah.
I think he would argue that, like, you have to look beyond the surface to understand his rage. Is it just his ego? Is it revenge? Or is it something deeper, like a response to losing his friend?
Yeah.
Maybe it reflects the psychological trauma of war? It really begs the question, how would we judge Achilles' actions today
Totally. Yeah.
with our modern understanding of psychology and morality?
And we can't forget about the scene where Achilles is talking to his horses.
Oh, yeah, Xanthus and Belius.
Yeah. And they warn him about his death.
It's such a powerful moment.
I know.
You see this vulnerability from him
Yeah.
underneath that tough exterior. It's
Yeah.
like Homer is giving us a little hint that even the greatest warriors
Yeah.
are still mortal.
They can't escape.
Yeah.
That vulnerability, I think, is really crucial to understanding him.
Oh, absolutely.
It adds this whole layer of tragedy to his story.
Yes.
He's aware of his fate,
Right.
but he's driven by these forces that seem beyond his control.
Totally. And this is where I think Socrates would bring in the whole fate versus free will debate, which is still so relevant today.
Oh,
Like, do we actually have control over our lives?
yeah.
Or are we just playing out a pre-written script?
Mind-blowing.
Right.
Okay, let's switch gears. Let's talk about Odysseus,
All right.
the OG escape artist.
Yes.
I mean, this guy was the king of cunning and deception.
No, he was so resourceful and resilient.
Yeah.
But I do have to say his methods are often kind of morally ambiguous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, take the Polyphemus episode.
Okay.
Blinding the Cyclops wasn't just about escaping.
Right.
Odysseus taunts the guy.
Oh, yeah.
He reveals his name,
Uh-huh.
which leads to a curse.
Yeah.
Which makes his journey home so much longer.
It's like he can't resist showing off how clever he is,
I know.
even if it puts him and his men at risk.
Totally.
I bet Joe Rogan would be all over that story.
Oh, absolutely. Analyzing the tactics, the brutality of it all.
Yeah,
Maybe even suggesting some alternative escape routes.
totally.
He would love it.
But it's not just about the spectacle, right?
Right.
There's a deeper question about his character.
Yeah.
Is he a hero or an anti-hero?
Yeah.
Is he a brilliant strategist
Yeah.
or a manipulative con artist?
It's a question that's been debated for centuries.
I know.
He embodies both right.
Yeah.
He's courageous and determined,
Yeah.
but he's also capable of deceit and ruthlessness.
Yeah.
I think it's this complexity
Yeah.
that makes him such a fascinating character.
Totally.
He forces us to confront our own ideas about heroism and morality.
It's like he's the original hustler,
Totally.
always working the angles,
Yeah.
finding a way to come out on top.
Uh-huh.
Even if he has to bend the rules a little.
Exactly.
I can just hear Kanye being like, Odysseus, that's my guy.
Yeah.
He understands self-belief and never giving up.
I can see the connection, for sure.
Yeah.
They're both driven by ambition,
Yeah.
a desire to leave their mark on the world.
Yeah, to achieve greatness.
Even if there's a price to pay.
Totally.
Odysseus's journey home could be seen as a metaphor
Okay.
for an artist's struggle for recognition,
Okay.
this relentless pursuit of their vision.
Yeah, it's like his journey back to Ithaca.
Yeah.
It's like a metaphor for any artist trying to reach their creative goals.
Right.
No matter how many obstacles they face.
Exactly.
It takes resilience, bit of cunning,
For sure.
maybe even a little ruthlessness to make it.
Absolutely. And speaking of ruthlessness, let's bring in Nietzsche.
Okay.
I think he would love the chaotic nature of Odysseus's journey.
Oh,
The
yeah.
constant struggles, the battles with fate,
Yeah.
the ups and downs.
Yeah.
It all speaks to his ideas about the will to power and embracing the chaos of life.
Yeah, I think Nietzsche would see Odysseus as someone who refused to be bound by conventional morality.
Oh, totally.
You know, he embraced the darkness and the light, the good and the bad, and ultimately forged his own path.
Yeah, Nietzsche would probably view it as a testament to resilience,
Yeah.
adaptability,
Yeah.
and the will to overcome anything.
For sure.
He'd see the interference from the gods not as a sign of weakness, but as a challenge,
Oh, yeah.
an opportunity to assert his own will.
So it's almost like Odysseus is like a prototype
Yes.
for Nietzsche's Übermensch.
Yeah, exactly.
This person who transcends limitations and embraces the full spectrum of human experience.
Yeah,
He's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
right.
Do whatever it takes.
And that brings us to a really important point.
Okay.
How does this connect with you? As we've been talking about Achilles' rage
Yeah.
and Odysseus' cunning,
Yeah.
what resonates with you?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the epic scale of it all.
Right.
But I think the real power is how they make us reflect on our own humanity.
Yes.
You know, we all struggle with anger and ambition
Right.
and wanting to leave our mark on the world.
Yeah.
I think these stories give us a way to examine our own motivations and desires.
That's the beauty of Homer's work.
Yeah.
It's timeless.
Yeah.
It offers these profound insights into what it means to be human.
Yeah.
It invites us to confront some hard truths about ourselves.
Oh, wait.
And to really question our assumptions about heroes and villains and everything in between. We can't forget about the role of fate in both of these stories.
Oh, yeah.
Achilles knows he's going to die young,
Right.
but he still charges into battle.
Yeah.
And Odysseus, he gets help from Athena,
Right.
but his journey home still takes like 10 years.
It's crazy.
I think this whole tension between free will and destiny is something Socrates would have loved.
Oh, totally. It
Right.
really makes you think, like, if the gods are pulling the strings, do the characters even have a choice?
Yeah.
Like, does it change how we see their actions?
Right.
Does it make their struggles more meaningful or less?
It's almost like we're watching this cosmic chess game.
I like that.
And the characters are both the players and the pieces.
Wow, yeah.
I think Socrates would say that even with destiny, humans still have the ability to make choices.
Okay.
It's not about ignoring fate,
Right.
but it's about understanding how our choices shape our lives within that bigger picture.
Yeah.
He'd probably ask us to think about how that applies to our own lives.
That's a good one.
Are we just accepting what happens to us?
Yeah.
Or are we trying to make the most of it even when things are tough?
That really hits home.
It makes you think about those times in your own life when you felt totally out of control.
Yeah.
Did you actually have a choice?
Yeah.
Or was it all already decided?
It's tough to know sometimes.
That's the beauty of these old stories.
I know.
They ask questions that are just as relevant today as they were back then.
Totally. Speaking of relevant, I bet Joe Rogan would be all about those battle scenes.
Yo, absolutely.
He would be like breaking them down.
He'd be analyzing all the weapons.
Yeah.
Talking about how brutal it must have been.
I can just hear him saying, dude, imagine being in a phalanx formation facing a horde of Trojans. That's intense.
It is intense.
Yeah.
Homer doesn't hold back on the details.
Right.
You can almost hear the clash of the swords.
Yeah.
The chaos of it all.
Oh, yeah.
But what's cool is that he also shows the strategy involved, the discipline, how important individual skill is within a larger group.
I think Rogan would appreciate that.
Oh, totally.
That realism.
Yeah.
Like, even in the middle of all that chaos,
Uh-huh.
there's still some logic there.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about the armor.
Oh, yeah.
Rogan would go crazy for Achilles' shield.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Forged by Hephaestus.
Yeah.
It's not just armor.
Right.
It's like a piece of art.
Yeah, with all those scenes on it.
Depicting life and war, peace and conflict.
Yeah.
It's like a mini version of the whole human experience.
It's like Homer's saying even the greatest warriors are part of something bigger.
Exactly.
They experience the same joys and sorrows as everyone else.
Right. And speaking of larger-than-life figures,
Oh, yes.
I can't help but think about how Kanye might see himself as a modern-day Odysseus.
Oh, interesting.
There's some parallels there,
Okay.
both known for their self-belief,
Yeah.
ambition,
Yeah.
their desire to push boundaries,
Uh-huh.
challenge conventions. You could see Odysseus's journey home as like a metaphor for an artist's struggle,
Okay.
trying to get recognized,
Yeah.
relentlessly pursuing their creative vision.
Yeah, it's like his journey back to Ithaca.
Right.
It's like any artist's journey,
Exactly.
trying to reach that ultimate goal.
No matter the obstacles.
Yeah, it takes resilience and cunning.
Totally.
Maybe even a little ruthlessness.
And just like Odysseus,
Yeah.
Kanye has this ability to captivate an audience,
Oh, yeah.
tell stories that really resonate with people.
Yeah, he's a master of self-promotion.
He's always reinventing himself,
Yeah.
pushing the limits.
Yeah, always demanding attention.
Let's be real, though.
Okay.
Both Odysseus and Kanye have a way of getting themselves into trouble.
Oh, yeah, their egos can get in the way sometimes.
Definitely, leading to conflicts and setbacks.
Yeah, but I think that's what makes them so interesting.
Exactly.
It's that mix of brilliance and audacity,
Yes.
ambition and vulnerability.
They're not afraid to take risks,
Yeah,
to challenge the status quo.
even if it means facing criticism.
Exactly. And that brings us back to you.
Go.
As we've been on this journey through these epic tales,
Yeah.
what has stood out to you?
Yeah, what resonates with your own experiences.
Right.
How do you see these stories connecting to your own understanding of the world?
Yeah. Do you find yourself asking similar questions about fate, ambition,
Yeah.
heroism,
Yeah.
the human condition?
We'd love to hear your thought.
Because that's the real power of these stories.
Yeah.
They invite us to think, to reflect,
Yeah.
to connect these ancient themes to our modern lives.
They're not just stories from the past.
No.
They're living narratives that still shape how we see ourselves and the world around us. It's crazy how these stories are like thousands of years old,
I know.
but they still feel so relevant today.
Yeah, we've been talking about rage and ambition and cunning,
Yeah.
this struggle against fate.
Yeah.
These are all themes that just transcend time and culture.
It really makes you think, like, human nature hasn't changed that much.
That's the power of great literature, right?
Yeah.
It gets to the core of the human experience,
Yeah.
those universal truths
Yeah,
that are true no matter what time period or culture.
totally. And what's so fascinating about the Iliad and the Odyssey
Yeah.
is how they present these truths through stories.
Yes. With
Yeah.
these larger-than-life characters
Yeah.
and these crazy adventures.
Yeah, it's like Homer knew how to get us hooked
Totally.
with those battles and the journeys.
Right.
But he's also sneaking in these deep insights about who we are.
Exactly. He wasn't just telling stories. He was
Wow.
exploring human emotion,
Yeah?
the complexities of morality,
Yeah.
that constant battle between what we want and what's destined for us.
I think our guests would appreciate that.
Oh, definitely.
Can you imagine the conversations they'd have about these epics?
Oh, my gosh.
Socrates would be going on about the philosophical stuff.
Yeah.
Rogan would break down all the fight scenes.
I just-
Kanye would compare it to his own life as an artist.
Yeah, truly.
And Nietzsche
Yeah.
would be celebrating the chaos of it all.
I can just see him loving the raw power of the gods,
Yeah.
their unpredictable nature,
Yeah.
how they mess with human affairs.
Totally.
I bet he'd say that this unpredictability, this embrace of chaos,
Mhm.
is what makes life so exciting.
Yeah.
So full of possibility,
It's like he'd say, yeah, the gods might mess with us, but that's just part of the game.
right?
You got to rise to the challenge, assert our own, we'll find meaning in the midst of all the craziness.
Exactly. And I think that message resonates with a lot of people today.
Oh, for sure.
We live in a world that feels chaotic and unpredictable,
Yeah.
but we still have the power to make choices,
Right.
to shape our own life.
To find those moments of beauty and meaning.
Think about those moments in the Odyssey
Yeah.
when Odysseus is shipwrecked,
Okay.
facing monsters, tempted by sirens.
Yeah.
He could have given up so easily. But he keeps going,
Yeah.
uses his wit and resilience,
Yeah.
and never loses sight of getting home.
That's what makes him such a powerful figure.
He represents that human spirit,
Yeah.
the ability to overcome any obstacle,
Yeah.
find hope in the darkest times.
I think that's something we can all learn from.
Absolutely, no matter what we're going through.
It's like a reminder that we're all on a journey.
Yeah.
A hero's journey.
We're going to face storms.
Yeah.
We'll have our own monsters to fight.
But we get to choose our path,
And find our way back to our own Ithaca.
whatever that might be.
Sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. It's about what we learn along the way.
Yeah.
The people we meet, the challenges we overcome.
Yeah.
It's about embracing all of it.
Yeah. The good and the bad.
The ups and the downs.
The highs and the lows.
That's what makes life so rich.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I'm curious,
What are you taking away from it?
what resonated with you?
What questions are still swirling around in your head?
Yeah, what insights did you get about yourself?
About humanity.
About the power of stories.
Keep exploring. Keep asking questions.
Keep diving deep.
There are so many stories out there waiting to be discovered.
So many insights to be uncovered.
Who knows?
Maybe you'll even be inspired to write your own epic tale.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.